Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach. Just got off the phone with Brian Alvarez on the call-in show. One of the highlights of Monday mornings on Figure 4 Weekly. Calling in, talking to him, shooting the shit with some wrestling discussion. Make sure you check that show out. But last night on the pay-per-view, we saw the real start of the whole angle of the breakup of the Shield. Everybody can remember last year they came in as hot as shit as can be. And I think they were one of the best, new characters out of WWE, I think, almost overall in all of wrestling in the last year. I never really understood their what the hell they were doing with trying to fight for the right, protecting justice in the WWE, and it just seemed like they were CM Punk's lackeys. But it fucking was awesome what they were doing. And once they actually started having matches and they were beating like Team Cena at Elimination Chamber and like the Ryback and Team Hell No match, then you go and they have the match at WrestleMania and they win in their debut Mania match against Big Show, Orton, and Sheamus. I mean, that's some pretty big shit. I mean, a lot of guys get to go to their first WrestleMania, and they always seem to sort of drop that first match. They sort of say it's like paying their dues because everybody has to work so hard to get there. And they put the big exclamation points on them. And, maybe they haven't been doing the hottest stuff at the end of the year to polish it up. And maybe them joining, the Authority with Triple H, Vince, and Stephanie was a little weird because there was nothing really brought out. Just all of a sudden, boom, there they are. They're the bodyguards. And then a few weeks later, they're not the bodyguards and they don't work for the Authority. They just sort of like hanging around with them. And I don't know. They're a little bit lost in the shuffle. But honestly, in my opinion, it's sort of hard because, you got them as a trio. You got the Wyatts as another group of trios. Sometimes the guys work singles. Sometimes the guys work tag team. But as always, you're always going to look at them as three. And I know the Wyatts for a little bit seemed like they were going to have Kane join them and they were going to have like a monster behind them. And a lot of people were really hoping with the Shield that maybe like Orton was going to join up with them and they were going to have four, or maybe Punk was going to put a vest on and become the fourth guy around the time when they were attacking The Rock and they were with Punk back then and everything like that. But what a year these guys had. Honestly, in my opinion, everybody in the world thinks that they want to break these guys up, and Roman Reigns is going to be the big, huge, star for them. He's the, direct lineage with The Rock. I don't know if he's like his cousin or his brother or something like that, but that came out about around WrestleMania last year when they took the picture together, and then all of a sudden it's, Blaze, WWE.com is putting up the angles, not angles, but stories, and the main picture when you go onto the .com is Roman Reigns posing with the WWE Championship, and people think that he's going to be one of the biggest stars in wrestling. I picked Roman Reigns as the guy that I liked from the group because when they came, people that liked Tyler Black and ROH were really hoping to see him do well as Seth Rollins, and then you had Dean Ambrose, who seemed like he was like the internet, playboy. Everybody in the world loved this guy. Just thought that he was, going to set the WWE on fire and become one of the biggest stars of all time. And then all of a sudden, now here we are a year later, and here's Roman, and Triple H is in love with this guy, and seems like he's going to be the next big star. So they want to set him off in the right way. With him hitting the spear last night on Ambrose. We had seen stuff in the pack with, Roman's just sort of being in the back of the Authority segments, not really agreeing with what's going on, and Roman Reigns being cut off at the Slammies, little small things like that to make you lead towards this group's breaking up. I could easily see maybe Roman getting his receipt by giving his receipt to Ambrose by dumping him out of the Rumble. That'd be one thing to really put the exclamation point on this really moving forward, that they really are breaking up. But honestly, in my opinion, maybe you have Roman Reigns leave the group, but then what are you really going to do with it? Because it's not like you're going to put the World Championship on him right away, and, between, him having some matches with Ambrose and, them being on some pay-per-views, say that goes 2 or 3 months, now you have this whole, period where guys get lost. They want to push him to the moon, but they don't really have anybody for him to wrestle, and it's not like anybody's really going to get behind, Roman Reigns versus, I don't know who to say out there, but who out there in the mid-card that Roman Reigns is going to go out there and beat in a 10-minute pay-per-view match that you're really going to be caring about, that you're glad that you ordered the show, and then they get lost because we don't really care about him because he's not wrestling Ambrose anymore, and you can't put the title on him right away. It just doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. in my world, I would love to keep the Shield together for a little bit longer. There's no real way to definitely put the title on him. I know you can't run an angle like they did with Orton and Evolution and put the title on him when he's still in the Shield and then break him away from him. But, I mean, honestly, that's the best way to do it. But let's see what he can do out there on his own. I think everybody in the world knows that Ambrose is going to do well. Tyler Black is a guy that I can honestly go 50-50 on with Seth Rollins and hope for the best. I hope the guy becomes a star. But how many times have we seen a guy of that shape and size just sort of be there? I don't know. JTG still has a job, so hope the best for Rollins. Peace out.